Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. And what do I have for you today? My brand new refreshed Ultimate Fire Necromancer. I have been testing this throughout the entire day and I have to tell you, I am pretty sure this is the strongest Fire Necro I have ever made, and I literally have over 10 iterations of this build. So I'm excited to showcase with you the changes that we have made. As always, we will go through the skills, passives, gear, idols, and blessings, so you'll be able to see every part of the build, and at the end of the video I have 2 full runs so you could see this build in action. Now, some people have been asking me about this new build guide format, and I just want to explain, my build guide format has not changed at all. I am just currently live on Twitch. We are currently in the middle of my subathon for 1.0. I've been live for 130 hours and the clock still says 65 hours. First link in the description if you want to come hang out. But just know that my builds are all going to be the same as they used to be. This is just a little modified format because of the subathon. Okay, let's jump into these skills. Starting with Skeleton Mage. Now, when you look at this, I've refreshed the skill a little bit, but for the most part, everything is the same. This is still our movement skill through Grave Passage, and we bring our army with us. We are still spec'd into Fire Mages. We are still boosting our spell, and we are taking a little bit of fire penetration now with our Skeleton Mages. Lots of ways you could take this. You can go into attack speed, you can go into more ignite, you can move things around, but this is how I'm playing it right now. Moving over to Golems, and Golems, we are taking the fire iteration of them, Ultimate Fire Necromancer, and then Golems are also a main source of your sustain. If you build this correctly, you will have 3 of them. And as you come down here, there's a node called Hunger, and this is when golems hit, they're going to restore your life and their own life, and this will be boosted based upon your vitality as well. So if you have 3 golems, and those golems have boosted attack speed, it is literally like little potions. Like, your golems will be hitting so much that your life will stay up. It's more about just making sure you don't get one shot. So that is the golem tree. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about Chaos Bolts at the end. Moving over to Flame Wraith. And down here we are taking permanent Wraiths. We are boosting their damage as much as we can, including their multiplicative damage. And I know my face is a little in the way, but down here we are taking crit chance and crit multiplier. Now you will notice on here that mages, wraiths, and golems are all permanent minions. Zombies are out right now. Zombies are out, so you never have to worry about continuously summoning zombies. Dreadshade is in its standard form. Literally no changes to Dreadshade. And the newcomer to the build, what took the spot for zombies, Chaos Bolts. Now, I've been doing testing all day on this skill, and I think this is what actually unlocks the full potential of Fire Necro. There's 2 nodes on here that are special. This is the first one. This is the Gate. Hitting your minions with Chaos Bolts grants them any damned ignite, bleed, or frostbite chance that the Chaos Bolts gain from this tree, and this lasts for 10 seconds. Well, this tree has a 100% ignite chance. So, when you take this 100%, plus your potential 200% from your Dragonflame Edict Staff, plus your ignite chance from the Warlock passive tree, you're starting to get over that 350% ignite for a minion hit, which means every single time your minion hits, they're putting on 3, if not 4 stacks of ignite on the enemy. And obviously they are hitting quite often. So just know that this build, you can get hundreds of ignite stacks through your minions because of this node. Now, when you jump over to the right, you also have Revolution. Whenever your mana is consumed by a Mana Anarchy node, your minions gain additional spell damage of your maximum mana, and they also gain increased attack speed. So this also is going to boost the attack speed of your minions and boost their base spell. Very, very strong. And then you get a little extra sustain down here from Chaos Bolts because you're going to get health and mana back when you hit cursed enemies. Now, you might be thinking like me, no enemies are going to be cursed. That's incorrect. All enemies are going to be marked for death based upon your idols. Perfect synergy. It plays really, really well. And just so you're aware, this revolution node, when you actually hit your minions with chaos bolts, they have this new necrotic kind of hue to them. You see this like green flames coming off of them, which is great from a quality of life perspective because you will know if your chaos bolts are active. So basically every 10 seconds you need to hit them, but it's really, really easy to tell. You can tell. You'll be able to tell instantly. Moving over to the passives. Standard passive tree for Acolyte, nothing has changed. Showing off the new Warlock node, Chaos Flames. So you're getting boosted minion fire and you are getting ignite chance at 48%. Lich, I put 10 points into Apo for intelligence and mana regen. And then under Necromancer gets the other 74 points. So we're taking Risen Army, Cursed Blood. We want to get that armor shred. We need our extra 2 skeletons so that we can make 3 golems. And then you just go right around the tree. 5, 5, 10, 2. 10, 6, 1, 5. Now my extra 3 points, when you're all done, you look like this. And you got 3 points to play around with. If you want, you could take Vanguards. You can go into Hunger if you like getting the increased attack speed. There's a lot of places you could put these last 3 points. I just boosted my resistances and put them right there with a little bit of damage for my minions. So those are the passives. Moving over to the blessings. Right now I took Void Resistance. I took Max Mana. Remember, Max Mana is very important now to this build because of this new node. Remember, maximum mana boosts your minion's spell base. So I switched this for Max Mana. We took Crit Avoidance, we took Endurance, and we took Physical Resistance. Now, looking at our gear, and again, we'll check idols first. I've switched around the idols for survivability. Normally, I would take 4 minion damage idols, and they are huge because those can roll up to 70%. So you're literally giving up 280% minion damage. And if you want, you could still use the old idol setup. Just in the new way, I want as much life as possible. So Necromancer doesn't have a ton of sustain, and we want to try and stay alive. So by using life idols on the build planner, I can get it up to 4,200 life. And then of course, you need your adorned idols. This one's life. This one's chance for Mark of Death on minion hit. And this is going to give you your Flame Wraith guaranteed. Now going over to uniques. Right now I am using a ton of them. We are still spec'd into the Dragon Flame Edict Staff. And we are using 2 new affixes. So minion base spell. And then the tier 6 affix, you actually want max mana and mana regen. This build, you're shooting Chaos Bolts, so you actually have to worry about mana regen a little bit. But there's lots of different things you could put on your Dragon Flame Edict. There's 2 different nodes, or 2 different affixes that have minion spell. And then you have Parry, the new survivability mechanic, and you've got max mana. Moving down to Raven's Rise. This really helps keep your minions alive. They take less damage when they are moving, and you get +2 to your skills. On here, I took minion health as I took hybrid health as the tier 6, and then minion damage as the tier 5. Rounding it out over here, we have Hollow Finger. Now you need 1 Hollow Finger, and a majority are gonna need 2, but I just set this up in the best possible case. Hollow Finger gives you 1 to maximum skeletons. And when you have an Aaron's Will, you also want a +1 to maximum skeletons. But if you do not have that node on Aaron's Will, you will need 2 Hollow Fingers. This is how I'm currently running it in game, but that would be the best possible chance to get all your minions, or to get all your golems. You want +1 to max skeletons. If you don't have that node, you need 2 Hollow Fingers. Now let's go over the rest of the items. Helmet, plus the Bone Golem life. Amulet, Oracle Amulet, less damage taken over time. Life. New belt. This is the Spider Silk Sash that gives you some resistances. Ring. Standard. This is where we're capping our crit avoidance. Boots. Standard setup. Hybrid health. And our Fire Minion Damage Damned Souls Relic, plus the Skeleton Mage. So that is the gear. If you could legitimately get close to building this Idol's Blessings gear, you're gonna have maxed endurance, max crit avoidance, over 1,000 endurance threshold, maxed resistances, 4,200 life, and the sustain that comes from your golems. You'll be pretty tanky, and obviously your minions will be absolutely destroying everything with over almost 1,200 damage to your fire, and that's without your fire idols. This would be really, really, really good. So that's the build. Right now I've got 2 full runs for you that you can check out. The advanced build planner and the loot filter are all in the description. And again, right now I'm live on Twitch if you want to come by. Community's so awesome that it appears I'm going to be streaming forever. So this is my new life. And I got to say, I'm kind of liking it. Don't worry, I'm still spending time with the family and kids. A little bit. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I've earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I'm gonna work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first over 110 members that have signed up. I get asked all the time, what's the best way to support? And Patreon is it. We're gonna have another game night once the subathon is over. You get into the VIP lounge, you get all the content you don't see on YouTube. Second link in the description for the Patreon. I'm done. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron,